I'm sure that at some point or another, you've all stumbled upon some little tidbit of information that you just felt compelled to share with the entire world, right? Like that very funny meme that you just had to text to everybody that you have a phone number for. So this thing is kind of like that for me. In the course of my reading, I stumbled upon this information that I feel is extremely critical to the future continuation of our species, and I'm just kind of obligated to share it with everybody. So this is like my great contribution to humanity here, and that's the record holders for the most children in history. Now, it's kind of, we got to stick to kind of more modern times because you go far enough back, there's just no records kept for that kind of thing, right? So we can't look at Genghis Khan or Attila the Hun. I mean, you just know those guys' military strategy was to just simply outbreed the enemy. And then once you conquered the enemy, breed with them too. You know, that was just the game plan. But as far as having records for it, we've got to go back to the early 1700s. There was an emperor of Morocco named Moulay Ismail. And by the time he was 50 years old, he had 700 sons. Now, it's not a far stretch to assume that he likely had just as many daughters, too. And what's funny is that he actually lived another 6 years after that. So I'm guessing he's probably not the type to have come to an epiphany on his 50th birthday and decide to be monogamous for the rest of his days. No, I'm pretty sure he probably finished what he started. So 1,400 children by age 50, it's kind of gross at the same time when you think about it too. I'm sure he probably wished they had invented antibiotics by that time because I can guarantee it probably burned when he peed. They say that in the modern day, one in every five humans on the planet is carrying a sexually transmitted disease. So yeah, that's kind of gross. I think what's probably even more impressive than that is the most prolific female, and that was a Russian woman named Fyodora Vasilyev. From 1725 until 65, a 40-year span, she had 69 children. Now, you're probably asking, how is that even physically possible? Because there needs to be at least 9 months in between each birth and that. Well, the reason why is because every last one of them was a multiple birth. She had 16 sets of twins, 7 sets of triplets, and 4 sets of quadruplets. That's kind of gross too when you think about it, because her husband probably needed to keep a 2x4 strapped to his back to keep from falling into the depths. But even still, if she was the worst person to be around, I can guarantee you that her husband was still super proud of her. And that's because every single man in the world has mad respect for a superwoman baby making machine like that. If they had cloning technology back in 1765, they would have cloned her. She would have been like Dolly the sheep, and they would have kept her around for further scientific research. It's amazing the kinds of things that you learn from books. I try to set aside at least a little bit of time each day for reading. I think it's really good for you. Even Mark Twain said that the man who chooses not to read has no advantage over the man who can't read. That one just always stuck with me. So those of you ladies out there, when you feel like whining because you're a little bit uncomfortable today, yeah, think back to old Theodora there, who passed out 69 children with nothing but a few swigs of vodka. Like, uh, she is what the Russians call a national treasure. In us guys, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure all of us have just accepted that we're never going to be a master of the romantic arts to the level that the Emperor of Morocco was. But that's not going to stop us to keep from going for the gold, right, boys? Woo, woo, woo.